Gathered here today in deep grief because a fellow resident by the name of Amir Locke lost his life at the hands of the Minneapolis Police Department. As a resident of this city, we extend our deepest condolences to his family. The pain you are navigating is a kind of pain that is preventable, and we are very, very sorry. We are sorry that all of our efforts to attempt to change the system we knew was disproportionately and unnecessarily killing Black lives did not protect your Amir. We are sorry that our solidarity protests and pushes for policy changes in the wake of the deaths of people like Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, and Breonna Taylor did not save your Amir. We are sorry that our fights to advocate for our own fallen in the Twin Cities area, like Justin Tigan, Jamar Clark, Philando Castile, George Floyd, Dalal Eid, and Dante Wright, did not save your Amir. We are sorry, and we will stand up for Amir in the hopes that no other family shares this kind of pain. We, the residents of Minneapolis, deserve better. We deserve to feel safe in our homes and in our streets. We deserve leadership that is trustworthy, fair, and accountable. Ultimately, Mayor Jacob Frey has the power and responsibility over everything that happens within the government of the city of Minneapolis, and specifically, as outlined in the city charter, the Minneapolis Police Department. Many of us as residents have reviewed the body camera footage and followed the official statements by the city in the wake of Amir's death. We continue to be deeply concerned and outraged with the lies, immoral decisions, and actions we have witnessed from our local officials that violate our city's code of ethics. On Sunday, about 25 residents came together as strangers with a simple question: what can we do? We determined that since it is our responsibility to hold our leadership accountable, we as residents are obligated by our commitment to each other as neighbors to submit an ethics complaint against Mayor Jacob Frey. We do not take this lightly. It is a serious decision to launch an ethics violation complaint against a mayor. For this reason, we ask that residents read the complaint. Decide for yourselves if you agree that our ethics code was violated by Mayor Jacob Frey in the case of Amir Locke. If so, please make your decision known by signing an ethics complaint form and submitting it here today, or directly to the Ethics Practices Board as soon as you are able. Translations of the residents' complaint in Spanish are being made available. And if a neighbor has capacity to translate this complaint in your heart language for accessibility to other residents, we welcome your contribution. We thank the family of Amir Locke for supporting this action, and our prayers are with them as they are not available to be here with us today. In preparation for this process, a resident asked, "How many complaints are we seeking to collect?" The answer was 1. It should only take one complaint of our mayor violating the Code of Ethics for the Ethical Practices Board to open and complete a thorough investigation. That's right. In 48 hours, we have collected over 1,250 uniquely signed complaints. Yesterday, a resident I do not know forwarded a screenshot from an email she received stating that complaints appearing to be duplicate will be dismissed. It has also come to our attention that the Ethical Practices Board in the city of Minneapolis in January dismissed an ethics complaint against the then police chief submitted in October by our then council president because of disciplinary action taken by Mayor Frey in December, it was dismissed. To the board, as residents, we expect our complaints with unique signatures to be counted, and we expect an investigation. Do not substitute the process of a full and fair investigation with alternative disciplinary action. If we are doing our part in this government to hold our leadership accountable, you must do yours. Amir Locke is dead, and if you truly uphold the ethics code of trust, fairness, and accountability, you are morally obligated to open an investigation because the people of this city, the family of Amir Locke, and the United States of America deserves trust, fairness, and accountability. We deserve this of elected officials, lest you undermine the foundations of democracy, a government of, for, and by the people, which is us, the residents. Investigate Mayor Frey. We have identified 3 ethics code violations in the past 9 days. 1. The mayor and interim chief Huffman intentionally and recklessly misrepresented the facts in briefings to the public and the press. They named Amir Locke as a suspect 4 times and refused to correct the record. 2. The unethical use of public funds in the SWAT raid caused the death of Amir Locke, violating state law. Additionally, the mayor has continued to violate his duty to the public by allowing the officers to still go without discipline and discharge. And 3, the request of the no-knock warrant by the Minneapolis Police Department, over which Mayor Frey has complete control, was a massive failure to exercise judgment to further the best interests of this city, adding to our ongoing trauma of excessive use of force by the Minneapolis Police Department. We will now hear from several residents as they come forward to offer their personal perspective in this order: Valentina McKenzie, Ray Kurt Johnson, Semhar Solomon, Kristen Engel, and Rod Adams. After the testimonies, we will conclude the press conference with a reading of the full complaint by Amama Thompson-Edja. Immediately following the reading, we will join in song and march the complaints we have in hand today to the city's attorney's office, which will be up the steps, around and up those steps, and to the second floor. We will follow the people that are leading. Complaints may continue to be submitted after today. Questions can be emailed to the residentscomplaint@gmail.com. This is not an action by any organization. We are simply many residents organizing to do our part to hold our leadership accountable. We will now hear from our speakers.
Peace. My name is Valentina McKenzie. I'm a Black woman with Black kids. I'm a community member of George Floyd Square, and I could potentially be the next Tycel Nelson, Jamar Clark, Philando Castillo, Justine Damon, or Amir Locke. Mayor Frey has failed me, you, us, our city, time and time again. He allows MPD to abuse their power while he refuses to use any of his own. The mayor can control the police of Minneapolis, and he refuses to do it. It's time for us to take matters into our own hands. Let's file this ethics complaint on him. Jacob's lies and failure has caused our city even deeper trauma by allowing his cops to do what they want and murder us freely. How can we heal as a city when every time we look up, it's happening again and again and again, not in some other city, right here in Minneapolis? We're tired of continuously being lied to about everything from if he was a suspect or not, to are the no-knock warrants banned or not? Did we defund some money from the Minneapolis Police Department or not? I don't trust anything Mayor Frey or Minneapolis Police Department says. Why hasn't the officer been fired for murdering somebody in their sleep? Mayor Frey needs to be investigated. He needs to actually ban the no-knock warrants that he's been lying to us about for the past 2 years. He needs his little working group that he has to hold public meetings so that the city and the residents can be a part of that. He also needs to, in any future public service committee or group that he appoints, needs to have that be a transparent and open to the public process as well for us to witness. And then lastly, he needs to be held accountable for all of his actions. I'm signing the residents' complaint, already have, and I'm excited to bring it upstairs today. I encourage everybody else to do the same. Thank you. I just was going to wipe it for you. Sanitary, and it was a lot bigger.
Y'all, this is what community looks like.
We both got them.
Good morning, people. My name is Ray Kurt Johnson. I'm new here in Minneapolis, and I'm loving every minute I'm here because of a beautiful community that has welcomed me to be here. And I'm a Citizen X surviving through this horrible COVID time and just injustice, and I'm just going on a feeling. I didn't write anything down, but as a musician and an person of improvisation, I just know what I'm feeling, that I'm outraged of the constant harassment of this violent culture that we're living in.
That's right.
And this hypocrisy of a democracy that we're trying to uphold and keep our citizenship and keep our dignity and just keeping ourselves. And my heart is just going out to the family of Amir Locke and the families of We Are Family. So I'm just going to do what I can do best and dedicate this.
keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Hi there, my name is Samhar Solomon. The citizens of Minneapolis, through this residents' complaint, are asking for one or a few simple things. Or we consider them simple, but our government doesn't right now. Those are transparency, accountability, and safety. When government officials continue to fail on protecting us and use the tax dollars that we give them to use ethically. Empty promises and empty actions has caused Black and brown bodies to drop. The narrative of Minneapolis is now being told by the people of Minneapolis, as it always has shown. And we are saying that these needs to be accountability and honesty in these government positions that are not upholding their own words, that get them reelected, resulting in the murders of countless lives. These ethic violations, these mistakes, are costing lives, and the community of Minneapolis has continued to say, enough is enough. It's not just a policy shift, it's a culture shift. Time and time again, the youth have shown us their voices need to be heard and how powerful they can be. Although this complaint is for those 18 and older, I strongly encourage the youth to stand up and raise the importance of the adults, coaches, teachers, and mentors in your lives, what it means to show up and do their part. Each and every one of us has power when you speak up for what is right, to make change. And right now, the citizens of Minneapolis and the families of all stolen lives are asking all of us, as our duty, to stand up and use our voices. So, will you?
There's lots of things I got to put in. Hello, everyone. My name is Kristen Engel, and I'm a Southwest Minneapolis resident and mom. For too long, it has been the inactions of ordinary people like me that have kept this harmful system running.
That's right.
That is why we're calling on all residents of Minneapolis, ordinary people, to hold our city leaders accountable for the death of Amir Locke. Amir Locke was executed by the Minneapolis Police Department and the negligence and inaction of Mayor Frey, and yet there has been no accountability. Why do we accept this as residents of Minneapolis? Accountability cannot wait. With no action, we know what time will show us. More harm to Black men in our city, to Black families, to our residents, to our community. When we promised truth and transparency, the mayor and interim chief intentionally and recklessly lied to the public and press. No matter how you voted, the time is now for residents to come together.
That's right. Yes.
To take action and hold our city leaders accountable. This is not outside agitation. This is local aggravation.
Yes.
Enough is enough. Sign the residents' complaint. Take action.
Chief Hoffman, Mayor Frey, Amir died, you lied. Chief Hoffman, Mayor Frey, Amir died, you all lied.
All right. Did you?
Yep. Okay.
All right. My name is Rod Adams. I'm a resident of Minneapolis. Before we get started, could we just, for one time, just say his name, say Amir's name for him? Amir Locke.
Say his
All right. So I haven't prepared a statement, so I have a few points that I do want to make. Let me speak into the mic. So Okay, all right, there we go. So we're here for Amir Locke. And I live literally directly across the street from where Amir Locke was killed. Saw the police, saw them bring his body out. And then later in the day, I saw the video. The key going into the door, and them sneaking in the wee hours of the morning, and literally snuffing out of life. And for me, the question that I have for the city of Minneapolis, Mayor Frey, and also Amelia Huffman, is how many more? 7 years from Jamar Clark, we're 18 months from George Floyd, and now we stand here dealing with another murder of a young black man. And I'm not even gonna say young black man, of a child. Because if anyone in this room knows, at 22 years old, we were not adults. Amir had his entire life in front of him. His entire life in front of him. But instead of that, he was murdered at the hands of the Minneapolis Police Department, and then had the leader of this city, along with the interim chief of police, call him a suspect 4 times. And if you know anything about the black community, for the black folks in here, you know that how hard it is to get a young black man out of the house without a criminal record, out of the house without dealing with the Minneapolis Police Department or any police department in this country. And I don't know about y'all, but I am tired. It's taking everything in me not to get too emotional now. And we're here because Amir Locke was murdered. We're also here to challenge leadership. We're here to hold leadership accountable. We're here to answer the question about what leadership looks like. That looks like transparency. That looks like accountability, and it looks like honesty. And for me, those things have been lacking for the past few weeks, and really the past few years. So we're here together with clergy. We're here together with youth. We're here together with folks from all over the city, different walks of lives, to say one thing: that the city needs change. The city needs to heal. But we cannot heal when we have the Minneapolis Police Department serving a no-knock warrant, using a key to go through a door in the middle of the morning and murdering a young black kid. We cannot heal until MPD is brought to a heel. We cannot heal until we have transparency around this new public safety task force that Jacob has put together. We cannot heal until we ban no-knock warrants. And we cannot also heal until we really transform what public safety looks like in the city. And the person who has the power to do that is Mayor Jacob Frey. And as a person who knows Jacob Frey, this is not a plea, but this is the demand.
Yeah, that's right.
From here on out, the folks in this building, the folks around the city, and the folks who make those complaints will be watching you. This is the first of many opportunities for us to hold